Welcome to the Board Wrap-Up Show. I'm your host, Sean Anderson, for Ponca City Public Schools. This is our monthly visit with Superintendent Shelley Arrett, all about this month's Board of Education meeting. We're talking about the meeting for June 2021. And Shelley, good to be back in studio with you.
Here we are live.
I know.
Is this
wow.
not wonderful?
This is fantastic.
Yes.
The meeting for June, of course, in the summertime, the perception, or my perception, was that the meetings would be super short, not a lot of work to do, but it's actually the opposite. There's like more work to do.
Are you kidding me?
During the summer, right?
Lots of work. We're
Right.
gearing up for the next school year and a lot on the agenda.
Yeah, a lot on the agenda. A special meeting, the annual budget hearing, that actually happened before the Board of Education meeting,
We
right?
did. We had our annual budget hearing. It occurred at 5:30, right before the regular board meeting. And our Executive Director of Finance, Brenda Story, gave the board an update for our fiscal year 22 budget. And she talked about lots of things, enrollment trends, where our weighted ADM is, our local revenue, which includes our GPT and our ad valorem taxes, motor vehicle, valuation trends, where we are with our carryover. We've always been great stewards of our funds, and a school our size can carry over 14% of our budget, and we have carried over right at 12.5%. So we're in good shape, even with all the hits that we took from COVID. Enrollment was down statewide because a lot of our students went to virtual schools. So we're hoping those trends increase, and we go from there.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. Well, that special meeting lasted for about a half hour. Then at 6 o'clock, the June Board of Education regular meeting started, and it started with the Superintendents Report. What's included in the summertime edition of the report?
Well, big report this time. As you know, we receive federal funds to help us with relief from the coronavirus, and part of ESSER 3, which is the Elementary and Secondary Schools Economic Relief Act, we have some criteria whenever there's federal funds attached to that. And we receive money based on our number of free and reduced students, our Title I students, which is about 62% of our students. So for Ponca City Public Schools, our ESSER 3 funds will be right at $11.3 million. And yesterday was a big day. After the board meeting, we had our American Relief Plan Consultation Committee meeting, and we talk about how we're going to spend that money. Lots of schools are going to utilize that money for infrastructure because that's a lot of dollars. What we have to do is we have to prepare, prevent, and respond to COVID. So that's our guiding question for our ESSER funds. And 20% of those funds has to be spent on academic recovery. Without a shadow of a doubt, we knew our kids lost, there's some academic gaps, but even more than that, we have some social and emotional and mental health issues. COVID was hard on all of us, and for a lot of our kids, we couldn't lay eyes on them if they were quarantined or in isolation. So consequently, our DHS reports went down, and it's just been hard on our kids living in isolation and not being able to escape trauma if they're living in trauma. And so 20% will be spent on recovery. We've got a lot of healing to do, but part of the requirement is we had to produce our proposed return to learn plan for school year 21-22, and there was a lot of criteria, and I could go through all of that, but you can see the proposed return to learn plan on our website, www.pcps.us. It was posted today after our American Relief Plan Consultation Committee, and we are taking public comments. And one of the components, which will be of high interest, this is what everyone asks, is will we be masking next year? And Oklahoma has a Senate Bill 658. It goes into effect July 1. And the only way that a school can require a mask mandate beginning July 1 is if the governor declares a state of emergency in the state, or if our local health department advises that we should have a mask mandate. So as of this 10 seconds, we are planning on not being masked for the next school year. So I would encourage our patrons to go out there and take a look at our Return to Learn plan and provide comments to us. So there's where we are with our Return to Learn plan. And then I gave some information about staffing, and we've talked about this before, Sean. This is just a perfect storm with the teacher shortage in Oklahoma. Oklahoma already has a teacher shortage. Then you remember the historic teacher walkout and the historic teacher pay raise. It was exactly 3 years ago. And when teachers plan for their retirement, their teacher's retirement for the rest of their life is based on their 3 highest years' salary. So 3 years ago in 2018, we knew that a lot of teachers would retire in the state of Oklahoma. So this year, there were 1,400 more teachers in the state of Oklahoma who retired than the previous year. Okay, we're already in a teacher shortage. We have an additional 1,400 retirees, and then we had the year that was stressful due to COVID. So it's a perfect storm. So we're struggling as far as teachers go. Now, I will tell you, we have already made 60 new hires, which is phenomenal, but we still have like 7 positions to fill. Here we are, it's June 22nd, and anyone that graduated from college has likely already applied. So we put out a Facebook post. If you have a bachelor's degree and you love kids and you're interested in a rewarding career, contact us and we can get you emergency certified. If you have an area that you're fond of, right now we need an English teacher. We need 2 science teachers. So if you have a background in any of that, we would certainly love for you to visit with us.
Well, and it made it exceptionally difficult. You weren't able to attend the job fairs. They weren't having those job fairs at colleges.
Virtual.
Yeah, virtual.
You know, we actually, when we go to job fairs, we will set up and really display and showcase Ponca City Public Schools, and we will chase students down. We didn't have that opportunity virtual. You know, they had to sign up. And you know, a lot of people call like Ponca City like an island school because we're not in a metropolitan area. And if you consider us and Enid and Stillwater, now Stillwater has the university, so they can draw in a lot of teaching applicants. But a lot of times you need a reason to come to Ponca City. You know, what's your reason to be here? So I'm not above playing matchmaker to anybody who wants to move to Ponca City, which my husband does not like me to do that. I always ask him about engineers at the plant, so he tries to stay out of that. But this is a wonderful career if you love kids, and we have great benefits, and teacher pay is at an all-time high. It's 10-month. If you have your own kids, you're off on the same time, so it's a great career, and we need strong, dedicated people.
And isn't there an incentive for teachers that have retired to come out of retirement?
There is new legislation, and actually we have several teachers who retired who are coming back. So currently you can retire for 60 days and come back at a cap, and teacher retirement sets that cap. However, there is a new law that if you worked for Ponca, if you retired as a teacher and you haven't worked for a school system for a full year, you can come back at full teacher pay.
Wow.
So.
And have your retirement.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yes.
Well, the superintendent's report was lengthy at the June Board of Education meeting, and so was the consent agenda. Now, these are contracts, and there were a lot of contracts to approve, and a lot of this is routine stuff, but it still takes time to go through them all.
It's the end of the fiscal year, so our contracts run from July 1 to June 30th. So our board had to consider all of our July 1 contracts, and I'll give you just some examples. We had our yearly contract, like our internet content filter, the board's attorney's contract, Galaxy business equipment, some of our service providers like psychometrists and Braille services for students with special needs, Pinnacle Business System, Power School, which is our student information system, lots of educational software, our elevator maintenance, the contract with our auditors, phone services. We had some new contracts, SEL curriculum, that's social emotional learning, which we're super excited about that, and SEL screener, so we can determine which kids we really need to focus, that really need that support as with social and emotional learning. And we are purchasing a Train HVAC system for Wildcat Academy, which falls under the CARES Act or the ESSER Act, because it's ventilation. It's preventing the spread of COVID. Winter Road Tally Architectural Services. Have a bond election coming up in the fall, so we'll be talking about that quite a bit. And then Delta Steel Material, we have a new video board going in at Solon, so we're super excited about that. So those were some of the contracts that were approved.
Very good. The proposed budget for fiscal year 22 was unveiled. There was some action to the board.
Well, it was actually the special meeting. Brenda provided all that information, but the board then approved the budget at the regular board meeting.
There is a plan for the Washington PreK Center to get a new playground and some more parking. And there were bids that needed to be accepted. You did accept those bids, right?
Yes, we did. And actually, as far as the playground, that's asphalt and it was kind of torn up, and we are actually getting that redone in the teacher's parking lot at the same time. So, and actually, I think Brett's out there as we speak visiting with our contractors.
Oh,
so
fantastic. Brayden and Finley school properties. Can you explain what are these and where are they?
Okay, so the Brayden School is out east of town around 9 Mile Road. We still owned that property. It's the old Brayden School. Finley School is west of town. We owned that property. We sold both of those properties. The Brayden property for $75,000 and the Finley property for $65,000. So
very good. So that was just extra. It was just sitting there.
Yes.
Yeah, it was okay. Might as well sell it.
We have been trying to sell it. Could be a liability for us if someone breaks in or something. Yeah. So, land, as you know, is a hot commodity right now.
Yeah, for sure. Executive session right after that. And of course, you can't talk about specifics of an executive session, but how long did that last?
Oh, it lasted probably 30 minutes or so, and we came out of executive session, and the board approved the personnel report. We had a lot of hires on there and a lot of separations. Any of our non-contract extra duty is on the board personnel report, and that's public record. It is posted with our agenda, our board personnel report, and it's typically pretty lengthy, but there were some really good news pieces that came from that board personnel report. Our board decided to raise the base pay for bus drivers to $15 an hour, and it's a struggle getting bus drivers. Bus drivers have to have a CDLB, and it takes some training, and it takes some studying, but we will help you get certified. So we really need bus drivers, and that was a good move by our board. And then they raised the sub pay too. First time that I can remember, and I've been with this district 27 years, and I never remember the sub pay being raised. So it was raised $15 for if you're subbing for a support, if you're subbing for certified, or if you're a contract sub. So $15 across the board.
Fantastic.
So we've had a lot of new applicants for subs. So.
Good. And if you are a bus driver, or if you know someone who is a bus driver, if you have a CDL, maybe you've never been a bus driver, the opportunity is now $15 an hour.
Starting pay.
Yeah, starting at 15. So the board approved the pay raise for substitutes. You just mentioned that. And that was a pretty lengthy Board of Education meeting for June.
It was. It was a lengthy Board of Education meeting, and I think the July board meeting will be lengthy as well. We have our our ESSER funding, and there are lots of requirements and lots of hoops to jump through. It's a great problem to have, though.
Yeah.
And what we do with our ESSER funding, we file a claim. We pay for it up front and then file a claim and then get reimbursed as long as it's approved, and we have to sign assurances. It has to meet the criteria by the federal government, so it's a good problem for us to have, and it's a good thing we have a healthy fund balance, because it could be a cash flow issue for schools that don't have a healthy fund balance. You have to pay for it upfront and then get reimbursed.
Yeah, for sure.
Good problem to have, lots of work, but we're excited for a normal year. Right now, our risk level is 1 green level in K County, and it's just like
Wonderful.
relief.
Yeah, it really is. Well, that is going to do it for the Board of Education Board Wrap-Up Show for June. Now, stay connected with Ponca City Public Schools. When you download the PCPS app, you can also go to pcps.us. You can follow Ponca City Public Schools on all the social medias and Facebook, a wonderful page there. And you'll find a lot of what we've talked about in this program on those pages and in those different social media outlets, and of course at pcps.us. Shelley, thank you so much.
Well, it's good to be live.
Yeah, it was great to be back in studio. Very good. That's going to do it for the Board of Education Board Wrap-Up Show. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Thank you for watching. Until next time.